Howdy folks, haven't got a lot of time to say this and not a lot of time to do all my August vlog. Oh, gotta turn that off quick. Howdy folks, it's the August vlog. This is going to be a really quick one because I'm down to 14% battery as I read this. And also I'm recording this 3 hours before the end of the month, so I've literally got this and 3 hours to edit and get it out. So let's do this super quick. So let's straight into board gaming for example. The first thing on board gaming is I've done zero design work this month at all, none at all. I mean, I may have helped a few other people with their stuff, but my stuff haven't touched it at all, so nothing to worry about on there. Games-wise, the only game we've played is Wyrmspan, which really annoyed me because it had a lot of the features of other designs that I've already been working on that I've been told to remove from some of my designs, which is really interesting and annoying in the perspective of maybe they were okay, but I need to get over myself and get over that. Right, cool. What I have been doing, though, is a lot of video gaming, so finally managed to finish the Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I've pulled out my ROG Ally that I've had for quite a while. Basically my son's played it more than I have, and I just wanted to sort of get back into like gaming in general. ROG Ally has been a fantastic use of my time because I've been able to do lots of like emulation and things for PS3, which has been really cool. But the main thing I wanted to get through was, as I said, Final Fantasy Remake. Then I also went on to play the PlayStation 3 version of oh gosh, what's it called? Stick of Truth from South Park. Really funny, zero replay value, but really good fun actually. Really good. Like the mechanics are just strong enough to sort of keep you engaged all the way through, and nice and short for an RPG, which I thought was fantastic. Right, other ones I got was Kirby's Planet Robo on the 3DS. Managed to complete that in a few days. Really good fun as well. Love the mechanics of like being able to sort of not only sort of absorb monsters and get their abilities, but also jump in this giant mech and absorb abilities. And this had its own like little abilities in itself that the robot could do that Kirby couldn't, and the robot was strong. And yeah, really good fun. Nice puzzle element to it as well, sort of finding all the MacGuffins. The one I'm playing through right now is Metroid Samus Returns. That's another 3DS title. It's a remake of Metroid 2 for the 3DS. Really good fun, but there's lots of like sub-bosses that are basically all the same. So, you know, gameplay-wise, pretty standard Metroid-y kind of thing. The one thing that kind of confused me, though, was the percentages, percentage I thought was percentage completion, and I thought it was really low. I'm going to have hours and hours and hours on this thing. And it turns out it's just the percentage of the items that you found, so yeah, doesn't really matter. Another one I've cracked on with is PS4, God of War, Old Man Kratos. Really good, actually. I was very surprised. It looks like it's going to be a very long one. The only thing that sort of put me off it at the moment is the fact that there seems to be a lot of little things to collect, like a lot. Like, you've got to find, like, glyphs for languages, you've got to find, like, upgrades for yourself, upgrades for your equipment, upgrades for your son's equipment, and there's just an awful lot of, like, collecting. And the combat system took a little while to get into as well. There's a lot of like blocking and parrying and that kind of thing. I'm very used to sort of smashing on my way through things, whereas this is a little bit more tactical. But so far, really good, lovely fun interactions between the son and the dad as they sort of evolve and their relationship continues to go along. And then the last thing is Nintendo Labo. So me and my kids, I've been making these. So these are like cardboard constructs that you make using Nintendo Labos proprietary system. They're really cleverly put together. The instructions are fantastic, and the games are actually surprisingly fun. So the one that I just showed you there was like a driving game, so you get to drive around this sort of landscape, but then you can also turn it into an airplane and fly around a little bit. And there's a different thing you do that with, but I can't find it right now. And you can make like a little stick, and then the last one is like a submarine that you get to build so you can go underwater as well. Fantastically good fun. Right, so project, my portable screen. So I finally managed to get my portable screen together out of an old laptop. The laptop itself is kind of on its last legs, but I'll be sort of revamping it a little bit. My kids have got a PC to work on if they need to. The last step was to put some speakers into it. So the board that it came with to power the screen has a little speaker cable in it. The speakers themselves are quite piddly, but obviously they're only being powered through the little bit of power that the board is giving. So I'm going to have to find some way to sort of amplify them, without additional power. Plus the attachments are a bit weird, like it's like a 4-pin connector, and it doesn't seem to be quite connecting properly, but, we'll figure that out later. Repaired my red Joy-Con. So my red Joy-Con, one of the buttons fell off. One of the shoulder buttons for the red Joy-Con came off completely. I watched some tutorials, and apparently it is possible to sort of scrape out and retrace the button connection, so you can solder the button back on and then retrace its connections down to the motherboard. It looked a little bit beyond my skill set though, so what I've done instead is I found a company that sells the motherboards whole and then substituted everything out, so exchanged over the Joy-Con sticks and all the like connectors and IR sensors and that kind of thing, and that seems to be working great. Hopefully it'll stay that way. My next worry is Joy-Con drift, but that's apparently a problem with all Joy-Cons. And then this month's been a pretty big focus on, bigger focus on health and fitness. So I've been eating better and working out better, basically doing more active stuff rather than just what I was getting into following my surgery was a bit of a downward spiral of I'll just do another stretch. I'll do a stretch today, and not really eating very well. And it's working at the moment. My body fat percentages and all that are dropping, which is great, and my weight is dropping, and I feel healthier. I feel fitter and better, and calmer. So fingers crossed it's working. And then the last thing to talk about is books. So I finally finished The Tank War. It's a book about the sort of World War II tank regiment, the 5th RTR. Bit dry, weirdly, for subject matter, but it was a very interesting read in the end. Got through it all. Not really much else to say about it. I've put it on the shelf. To be honest, the last few chapters where they talked about the people who survived and what they got up to after the war was probably the most interesting bit of it. But there we go. So I've moved on to Stephen King's On Writing. So apparently there's a bit about him. There's a bit about his writing style. A bit about writing techniques, which I might skip because I'm not a writer. And then a last little bit where they talk about, some short stories and things. Looks really good fun. I think that's it for now. I've got... Don't know what I'm working on next month, but basically, a lot of house projects. So I've done a lot of repairs and stuff around the house, that kind of thing. So not really that interesting. So I'm going to log off now because I'm down to 6%, and I've got to get this thing edited in the next 2.5 hours. So I'm going to go and say goodbye, and then I'll see you in September. Hopefully, we'll get back to a bit more game design and a few more gaming. Cheers. Bye.